Hello friends and potential friends. Well, I'm back out in the lab today, primarily because there's a tropical storm spinning out in the Gulf, and we've been getting winds from it for the last 2 days, and since about midnight we've picked up about a third of an inch of rain from the outer bands. Nothing devastating. It's enough to water the garden a little bit and keep me inside for the most part. If you remember the last time I was here in the lab, I had a bunch of seedlings going. Well, that was almost a month ago, and it was still staying pretty hot in here, and I lost a lot of those seedlings. I had to replant a lot of them. But I figured I'd bring you in now and show you the next batch of seedlings I've got going. Back here in the back corner are the two remaining mustard seedlings that I had from that first batch. And then in amongst them I've got 6 golden acres cabbage from my second batch. They're coming along nice, be going outside before too long. And let's see, back in the back corner is my 9-year-old basil and a couple of cuttings that I took from it. And then we have another batch of seedlings. I replanted mustard, and that's what you see right here. I need to do some separating. In fact, looks like I got some roots coming out there too. And up here I've got a half dozen Vates collards. I had to reseed those as well. Next to them I've got rainbow Swiss chard. And then up in the front, there's some more mustard. Looks like I'm going to have lots of mustard. Over in the next row, I've got some Vates blue Scotch kale, followed by some orange Swiss chard, some magenta Swiss chard. That's not coming up very good, but looks like I could separate one of those out and have 3 plants. And then back in the back is ruby Swiss chard, and that's going good, though there's still a little bit there I need to separate. And then finally over here on this side I've got some red Russian kale, getting good germination out of that, so I'll have to separate some of those. And then I've got a second batch of cabbage collards here. That's what all the rest of these are, is the cabbage collards. That's what I'm really trying to get going. I want to do some experimenting with those. And then back in the back corner, we have a couple of Jimmy Nardello peppers. I'm actually still getting peppers off of those. I see one blossom on the one on the left-hand side. But they're still producing peppers here in the lab. And like I said, it's been staying pretty warm in here. Right at the moment it's only 77 degrees, but earlier today it was 82, and that's with the air conditioner going. Seems that since I upgraded the lighting system in here and added all those new LED fixtures, basically I doubled the amount of light I've got in here. But that also brought the heat up a little bit, because contrary to popular belief, those LEDs do put out some heat. I may have to upgrade the air conditioner in here before long. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you the second batch of seedlings I've got going. Hopefully I'll be putting some of these out in the yard before too long. And then I'll have my winter crop in. Let's see, right at the moment I checked the radar just before I came out here, and I think we are between squall lines at the moment. So let me take you outside and see if we can get a quick look at what's going on out there. Quick scan over the patio. You can see a lot of the potted plants are still doing well. Something's been eating the leaves off of my okra. I've got a few pods that I'm leaving to collect seed from. Over here in the main bed, as I feel a few drops hitting me. Up here in the front, I've got some of the first batch of the cabbage collards. And back in the back, I've got the second or more of the cabbage collards. Those ones are coming along pretty good. This bed is going to be my collards experiment bed this year. I've got cabbage collards at both ends. Inboard from them, I'm going to be putting a row or two of mustard. And then I'm going to have some of the Vates collards planted in the middle. I just want to see how all of those work out. The far end of this bed tends to get a lot more shade than the close end. And of course, rosemary is doing well. You might notice that you don't see any onion or any garlic popping up around here in this bed. That's where I planted the garlic that came out of the freezer. The middle bed here is going to be mostly my brassicas. Haven't got any of them moved outside yet. But in this one, I also planted some control garlic. Basically just garlic cloves that I pulled out of my garlic basket. And a few of those are starting to pop up. I haven't got anything else planted in this bed yet. And in the far bed here, this is where I planted the garlic that I had in the refrigerator to stratify. And as you can see, a lot of them are popping up. Also planted the tomatoes that I grew in the first batch of seedlings. Down here I've got, this one is, if I can read my writing, can't read that one already. Okay, I'll guess at it. But next to it, that's my mule team. They're growing pretty good. Next to the mule team is the, looks like a large cherry. And those are growing pretty decent. And then I have the brandywine. Okay. Got 4 brandywines. And of course some volunteer sweet potatoes. Can't seem to get enough of those. Then here at the near end I've got boxcar willy. Not seeing any blossoms as yet, but they are all growing pretty good. And again, the whole outside of this bed is planted with the stratified garlic that came out of the refrigerator. And I feel a few raindrops coming in again, so the next squall line must be getting here. So I'm not going to go out and hit the rest of the orchard too much. So if you look off in the distance, I do have one papaya that's doing real good. Sugarcane's doing okay. Haven't cut back the moringa yet. But everything else looks like it's doing fairly well out there. Basically this storm is just getting us enough rain to water the garden. There's one of my acorn squash. It's still growing. Peppers that are about done. And as you can see, I've still got my trap out here because I'm involved in another big hunt in my feral kitty adventure. You'll be seeing more about that in days to come, hopefully, especially if I'm successful. Again, a quick scan over the potted plants. Everything's still happy. A week into November. Looks like the ginger's starting to die back, but everything else seems to be growing pretty good out here so far. But that's just a real quick update, mainly because I don't want to flood my channel with too many more feral kitty adventure videos without getting at least a little bit of a green fix mixed into it. And I'm not going to walk out front to look at the green stalk right now, but just trust me, I've got a bunch of datel peppers growing out there. Well, that's about it. I'm going to get back in and keep watching the radar and watching the Weather Channel. Peanut, you may have to prepare again. The latest tracks that I saw had some of the models taking this tropical storm your way. And to be honest, right at the moment, I don't think anybody knows where it's going to go. Looks like it might just sit out in the Gulf and spin for the next few days. But anyway, that's all I've got for this video. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.